Good day. It's Jay, the innovative mind tutor. I'm back again with the topic measurements, but today we are going to be talking about measurements, mainly shapes. So it's still the very same topic, but remember, we are talking about measurements, but now we are talking about shapes. So we are going to be speaking about different shapes that we meet on our daily lives, guys. So remember, each and every shape has its own properties. So the first shape that I'm going to be dealing with before the shapes, let's define now what kind of shapes are we going to be doing for today. So we are going to be mainly focusing on the 2D shapes. So the 2D shapes, it's where now we find the area. It's where we also find the perimeter, like that. So the area, it's the space of a 2D shape. That's what we call an area, the space of a 2D shape. And then the perimeter is the distance. The distance, guys, around a shape. So these are the two things that we are going to be focusing on. So we are going to cover 3D shapes next week. So remember, an area is the space of a 2D shape, and now the perimeter is the distance around the shape. So on 2D shape, these are the only two things that we are supposed to find. So the first shape, guys, that we are going to have, the first shape that we are going to have is now a square. A square, guys, a square. So a square has its own properties. Now, if you see these lines, it means now the properties of a square says that all the sides are equal. So for each and every shape, we are going to calculate the area, and we are also going to calculate the perimeter. So for the 2D shape that we are having now as a square, what are we saying? Let's say here we are given the units of measurement. Let's say it's 7 meters, like that. Remember, units of measurements can change. They can give you in centimeters, they can give you in any unit of measurement. So remember, when they say it's 7 and you're seeing these 4 lines there, it means all the sides are equal. We are dealing with a square. So now let's start by calculating the perimeter. The perimeter of a square is going to be side multiplied by 4. So where P stands for perimeter, side stands for the given value that you have there, and 4 is 4. And then on the side part, when we substitute, we are just going to put on 7, and then we say multiply that by 4, and then we say the perimeter now is going to be 28 meters, like that. I hope it makes sense, guys. We are done calculating the perimeter of a square. Remember, the perimeter of a square can change to being, they say, the perimeter is equals to, let's say, they say side plus side plus side plus side. It's still the very same thing as this one. You're going to say 7 meters plus 7 meters plus 7 meters plus 7 meters, which will also give you that very same value of 28 meters, like that. Note the units of measurements here, they are very important. So this is from grade 10 to 12. Don't forget that. So now let's calculate the area. The area, remember, it's the space of that 2D shape, and you must be aware that you can package in that space. You can package something. Sometimes you'll be dealing with floor plans that are square, so you need to put on the tiles. So we are going to cover topic by topic. We are going to be dealing with 2D shapes right now, and then we deal with 3D shapes, and then we deal with packaging. And then from there, whenever we are dealing with area, you are going to find that the area is side multiplied by side. And then we have that the area is equals to 7 meters multiplied by 7 meters. And then don't forget that when you multiply, when the units of measurements are the same, we put on a square there, because m times m is m squared. So this will give us 49 meter squared. So the units of measurements are important. Or they can give you the area and then they say it's side squared, like that. What you do, it simply means you put on your 7 meters in between of the bracket, and then you say 7 squared, and then you still get the very same value of 49 meter squared. I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense, guys. We are done with the square. Now, let's go to another shape. Let's go to another shape, guys. So met slit is nice, guys.
I'm saying, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, we are cruising nicely.
So let's go to another shape. Another shape that we are going to be dealing with is a rectangle. So remember, these lines are important, guys. The one I'm showing you now, they are telling you that the properties of a rectangle right now, it means that two opposite sides are equal. Two opposite sides are equal. So this side is equals to that side. If this side now it's 4 meters like that, and this other one, let's say it's 10 meters like that, it means also this side it's 4, also this side it's 10. So we are having 4 sides. So now let's calculate the perimeter of a rectangle. So the perimeter, it's either you are going to be given 2L plus 2B. So this, the 10 part is the length, and then this one is going to be known as the breadth. So if it's not called the breadth, it's also called the width. So guys, remember this, it's very important. So we are just following the formula. P, which stands for perimeter, is 2. Where there's L, I substitute what is the length there. It's 10. I put on my 10 meters, close my bracket. I say 2 again. What is my breadth there? I put on my 4 meters like that. And then from there, I just use Botman's rule, guys. It's not really that difficult. What do I say? I say 2 multiplied by 10, it gives me 20 meters. And then I say plus 2 multiplied by 4, it gives me 8 meters. And then from there, what do I do? I add these two values. What am I getting? I'm getting that the perimeter is 28 meters like that.
Oh my God!
I hope it makes sense, people. So the other part that we are going to be dealing with is the area. Now the area, remember the area, we are going to say A is equals to length multiplied by the breadth. So what is length multiplied by the breadth? We are going to take that 10 meters, we multiply the 10 meters by 4 meters like this. And then because it's multiplication and then the units of measurement are the same, we are going to square them. So it's going to be 40 meter squared like this. I hope it makes sense, guys. I hope it makes sense. So this is what you must do. You substitute. The only thing you do here is to substitute. Remember now, in grade 12, you can be given something like they give you the area. Now, let's use this area. I want us to use the area so that we focus on what we are doing. Let's say now you are not given the length part. You are not given the length, and then they label your length. They say this is A, like that. And then from there, they say the area of this rectangle is 40 meters squared. Calculate now the length. What you do, you basically write your formula, length multiplied by breadth. And then if you are given the area is 4 meters squared, you are going to put it under A because it's your area. You are going to say 40 meters squared is equals to what is my length is A, and then multiply by what? By what is my B there? It's 4 meters like that. And then from there, because I have a problem with multiplication, I'm going to divide by 4 meters to make A the subject of the formula, and then I divide by 4 meters, and then I find that my A is equals to 10 meters. So this is how they make these things to be tricky. They just give you the area, they ask you for the length. So this is how they confuse you from these parts. So we are done with the triangle. Hope, guys, you jot down the notes and then you write with me as I write. You write with me as I write. Be an active student. Be an active student. So right now, I'm also going to be dealing with a circle. So we are going to be talking about a circle. So remember, a circle has a lot of things that we need to cover. But now, you must make sure that you understand between the difference between a radius and a diameter.
What be this? What be this? What be this?
So I want us to know the difference between the two. So there's a radius, there's a diameter. So there is a difference between the two, a radius and a diameter. So now let's speak. A radius is a line from the center to the circumference, or from the circumference to the center. It does not pass the center. And then a diameter is a line that passes from the circumference to the circumference, as you can see. So in other words, what are we trying to say? If our radius is 5 meters like this, it means the diameter now is 10. So remember, this is for the radius, and then this is the diameter. So this is just an example. So in other words, it means that the radius is half of a diameter. So you must be aware of those things so that we can proceed. So now let's talk about things that we are supposed to calculate here in a circle. So remember, the perimeter of a circle is known as a circumference. So they are not going to say calculate the perimeter, they just say calculate the circumference. So whenever we are calculating the circumference, it goes by C is equals to pi multiplied by the D. So this pi, you note, this pi represents, wherever you see pi, it represents 3,142 like that. So you need to note that the only thing we are doing here is to substitute. So how do we substitute? We are going to say C is equals to, what is the pi? It's 3,142. And then I say multiply. What is my radius there? Is 10 meters. What is my diameter? I mean, it's 10 meters. Because there's D, I'm using diameter. If there was R, I was going to use the radius, guys. So when you multiply this, you are going to get 31,42 meters like that. So you are done calculating what? Your circumference. So remember, these guys, the formulas are given on an exam room. So you can find that this formula changes now. It says C is equals to 2 multiplied by pi and then multiply by R. The only thing you do is just to substitute the whole thing. Is 2 multiplied by what? The pi is 3,142. What is our R? It's 5 meters. And then you still get the very same answer. It's 3,142 meters. Remember, we must calculate also the area. So for each and every shape, 2D shape, we calculate the area, we calculate the perimeter. So now we are going to be focusing on the perimeter. We are going to be focusing on the area, man, guys. So sorry for that. We are going to be focusing on the area. So now when we calculate the area, you must note these things, we are not smart. We are just following the formula. Area is equals to pi multiplied by r squared, like that. So what do? I substitute my pi is 3,142, and then I say multiply by what is my radius? It's 5 meters, and then I square this. And then from there, I punch on my calculator. What do I find there? 3,142, and then multiply by 5 meters squared like that. What do I get? I get an answer of, we say the area is 78,55 meter squared, like that. I hope it makes sense, guys. I hope it makes sense. So this is the area of a circle. And then from there, let's move on now from a circle. We are going to the last shape of the day. We are going to the last shape of the day. Guys, remember to follow the instruction. Remember to know how to substitute your values. If you are given a radius is a line from the center to the circumference, and the diameter is a line from the circumference to the circumference. So these things are not really important to define, but you need to know them. So right now we are going to be speaking about a triangle. A triangle. Tri means 3. A triangle, like that. So a triangle is a 3-sided shape. So remember now, this is a triangle. So let's say we are having 3 meters, we are having 4 meters, we are having 5 meters, like that. And then they say to you, calculate the perimeter. The perimeter, it's either they're going to say side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3, like that. And then from there, what do we do when we calculate the perimeter? We are going to say now, side 1, any of the sides you choose, you substitute side 2, any of the sides, and then side 3, any of the sides. And then when you add the three values there, what are you getting? You are getting that your answer is 12 meters. Like that. I hope it makes sense. And then from there, what are you going to do? Again, we are going to calculate the area. The area, it's half of the base multiplied by the perpendicular height. So the base part is this part. This is the base part. This 4 part is the base. And then what do? I just substitute. And then I say half. What is half of 4? It's 2. And then multiply by the perpendicular height is 3 meters. And then from there, half of 4 is 2. 2 times 3, it's 6 meter squared. I hope it makes sense, guys. Whenever you are dealing with the 2D shapes, the 2D shapes are very important for us to understand. Remember, we must master the 2D shapes before anything. Now, let's talk about how we deal with questions. Like, let's say we are having a square like this, and then they give you the units of measurements of a square. They say it's 4 meters, and then you know that all the sides are equal like that. And then from there, they give you the dimensions of the tiles now. They say a tile is 0.4 meters by 0.4 meters. Calculate the number. We are calculating the number of tiles that are required to fill, let's say this is a room, this room like that. So there are two ways to kill this thing. I'll write the answer there at the top. So we need the number of tiles that are going to fit to this floor plan. And then let's say now we are having this 4 meters, né? And then we are going to calculate the area. We say 4 meters multiplied by that 4 meters. We have that our area is 16 meters squared. Now I've calculated the space. Remember the area, it's this space that is inside here, the space, and the tiles will fit in here. So I'm having the dimensions of a tiles. Remember, this is the area of the room. And then I'm going to calculate also the area of the tile. The area of the tile is going to be 0.4 meters multiplied by 0.4 meters like that. So I get the answer of 0.16 meter squared. And then from there, for me to know the number of tiles that will be required, remember this is for a tile and then this is for the room. I'm going to take that 16 meters squared, I divide by the 0.16 meters squared. And then I get the tiles that will be required. Let's check the answer. It's going to be 16 meters squared. And then we say all over 0.16 like that. And then we get that this floor plan will be tiled with 100 tiles like that. Tiles. I hope it makes sense, guys. I hope it makes sense. So this is what I wanted us to do. Now, let's look at another way to kill this thing. So another way other people would require would just say, okay, because now I'm going to focus on one side, I'm going to say 4 meters divide by 0.4 like that. And then what answer do I get? I say 4 meters divide by 0.4. I get the answer of 10. And then remember, this answer I'm still going to get for the other side because I'm going to divide by 0.4. And then I say multiply 10, multiply by 10. I get the fact that it's 100 tiles that will be required. So guys, this is it for the day. Please follow our channel. My name is James. You can follow us. Plus, keep on learning, practice maths, and make sure that you master all the rules that we give you. Remember, you must note down everything that we do. Work with us, guys. Don't be lazy. Follow our channel. We will forever be with you. Thank you.
We're enjoying ourselves here.
Bye.